Hey guys, hi, hello, namaste, adab, sat sri akal, assalamu alaikum, vanakkam and khambagni to all of you. Welcome guys, welcome to today's class, and this is your CBSE grade 10th Prodigy series, and this is in this class we will be talking about real numbers and we'll be talking about proof of irrationality, which is a very important topic from this chapter. Proof of irrationality, prove that root 2 is an irrational number, root 3 is an irrational number. These questions are very important. All right, so this topic we are going to learn in this class. All right, and the second topic which we are going to learn is decimal representation of rational numbers. So how do we know what kind of decimal representation does rational numbers have? How do we find out what kind of decimal representation it will have, and all that? Okay, so these are the two topics, different topics which we are going to discuss in today's class. So if you all remember, in the last class we have done the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, and I have given you one homework question as well. So let me discuss that homework question. So this was a homework question. Given that HCF of 306 and 657 is 9, find LCM. So many of you have given the correct answer. So those are Uday, Disha, Fatima, Khushi, Devinder and Hemant. So very well done to all of you guys. Very well done. Very well done. All right. Now the solution for this, very easy beta. As I have told you, a relationship, that is LCM and HCF of two numbers is equal to the product of their numbers. LCM of these two numbers I don't know. I know HCF is 9 and the numbers are 306 into 657. All right. So LCM will be equal to 306 into 657 upon 9. So you can say 9 3s are 27, remainder 3, 9 4s are 36. So 34 into 27 if you will do, your answer will be 22338. This will be your LCM. Alright, this will be your LCM. So the correct answer is 22338 or 22,338. Okay, bacha. So this is how this question be solved. I hope very easy question, right? Not that difficult. Okay, now let's come to today's topic, that is irrational numbers. So if you all remember guys, we know that root 2, root 3, these all comes under the irrational numbers, and we also know that decimal representation of irrational numbers is what? Non-terminating and non-recurring. For irrational number, it is non-terminating and non-recurring. So this also is one example of irrational number. See here, this is non-terminating. Actually I have to show dash 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 at the end. Okay, dash 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 should be there at the end, and you can see none of the value is repeating itself again and again. Alright, so that is called irrational number. And we also know that for rational number, the rational number, the decimal representation is either terminating or non-terminating but recurring. Okay, this we have learned in grade 9. So in this class, first thing we'll be learning how do I prove that root 2 is irrational number, or root 3 or root 5, like that. Second is, how do I know that if I give you a rational number, say 7 by 5 or 2 by 3, so how do I get to know that whether the decimal expansion of that number, that rational number, will it be terminating or non-terminating? So these are the two topics we are going to cover today. For irrational number, I know decimal expansion is always non-terminating and non-recurring. Alright, now let's come to the part that how do we prove that root 2 is an irrational number. Now to prove it, we need to learn one result, alright, or one theorem which is based on fundamental theorem of arithmetic. What is that result? This we need to understand. It clearly says, beta, that let P be a prime number. Let us say P is a prime number. If P divides a square, if P is dividing square of any number, then P will divide A as well. Remember here, P is what, beta? P is prime number. P is prime number. So let's take for an example 2. Now suppose 2 is dividing some number square. Let's say 2 is dividing 6 square. By 6 square is divisible by 2. Yes sir, 6 square is 36. 36 divided by 2 is 18. So if square of a number 6 square is divisible by 2, if square of a number is divisible by a prime number, then 6 will also be divisible by 2. This is what this theorem says. If a square is divisible by p, a also will be divisible by p. If a square is divisible by p, then a is also divisible by p. अब देखो, if you want to understand the proof is very theoretical. So I will give you the idea how do we get it. See, try to understand it in this way. If I say that a square is divisible by p, if I say that, that means in prime factorization of a square, p is present. Obviously, then only na yaar. Then only it is possible. By 6 square, if I do prime factorization, so 6 square prime factorization is what? 2 into 3 into 2 into 3. So in the prime factorization, you can clearly see 2 is available. Yes or no? So in the prime factorization of a square, p is available. Remember, in this theorem, p has to be a prime number. Alright, not any other number. Prime number. So if a square is divisible by a prime number p, I can say in the prime factorization of a square, somewhere p will be available. अब देखो बेटा, a square I can write as a's whole square, and a का prime factorization, भाई a also will have some prime factorization. So let's say a's prime factorization is something into something into something, but I know p must be present there. In that prime factorization, p must be present. And that same thing we are multiplying a square, so that same number has been squared. So if p is present in prime factorization of a square, I can say if a prime number is present, in prime factorization of a number, in prime factorization of a square, if a prime number p is present in prime factorization of a square, then I can say p is also present in prime factorization of a. Obviously, because a square is nothing but writing the prime factorization of a 2 times. By 6 square prime factorization is 2 into 3 into 2 into 3, 6 into 6. So if 2 is present in the prime factorization of 6 square, 2 is also present in the prime factorization of 2. 2 is also present in the prime factorization of 6. That is why if a square is divisible by p, a is also divisible by p. This result we need to remember. No one is going to ask you the proof. It is a very, say, generic proof. We can understand this with the theoretical way also. You can get the idea that if a square is divisible by p, that means in the prime factorization of a square, p is present. Definitely p must be present in a as well. Alright, ठीक है बेटा. Now based on this we will get the proof that root 2 is an irrational number. Now to use this proof, or to prove that root 2 is an irrational number, we use method of contradiction. We use what beta? We use something called method of contradiction. This method of contradiction is not used only in proof of irrationality, it is used in other places as well. So this is one of the ways to prove something. What does this method of contradiction say? Suppose here I have to prove root 2 as an irrational number. Okay? If I have to prove root 2 as an irrational number, I can clearly say in the contradiction method that let's do one thing, sir. Let's assume the opposite. What I am saying? Let us assume the opposite. So if I have to prove root 2 is an irrational number, I will assume the opposite, that let us assume root 2 is a rational number. What I am saying? Let us assume root 2 is a rational number. Let's say, so I do the opposite assumption. whatever I want to prove, I assume opposite to it. What happens by that? Now suppose if I have assumed root 2 is a rational number, I know root 2 must follow every calculation or any step. If I am doing any property of rational number, it must satisfy. So clear? So this is a property for rational, this is a theorem based on rational number. Here A is a rational number. ठीक है, understand this thing. और A is an say natural number over here because we are talking about prime factorization. ठीक है, A is a natural number, prime factorization we are talking about. ठीक है, तो I am saying कि since root 2 I have assumed that it is a rational number, now it has to follow all the properties which are followed by a rational number. It has to follow all the properties which are followed by a rational number. Clear guys? So what I'll do, let's say ki, okay sir, if I have assumed root 2 as a rational number, p by root 2 as a rational number, I can say, let us say root 2 is equal to p by q. Let us say root 2 is equal to p by q. Root 2 is equal to p by q, where what is p and q? Where p and q are integers, or not only integers, let's take it p and q are co-prime integers. Alright, what we take? We take p and q are co-prime integers. P and q are co-prime integers and q is not equal to 0. I hope all of you know what is co-prime integers. Beta, co-prime integer means two integers which does not have any common factor other than 1. Alright, so those who don't know what is co-prime integers, let me write it over here. Co-prime integers means two integers which do not have any common factor other than 1, because 1 is always a common factor for all the numbers. Because 1 is always a common factor for all the numbers. That means two integers, between them there is no common factor other than 1, or we can say two numbers whose HCF is equal to 1. For example, if I tell you, let's say 25 and 8. Now see, both 25 and 8 both are composite numbers, but this co-prime integers is a relative thing. Both 25 and 8, there is no number other than 1, there is no number which can divide these two. Alright, so they are co-prime integers. Instead, if I go for 24 and 6, they are not co-prime, because both can be divided by 2, they can be divided by 3, they can be divided by 6, so they are not co-prime. So here I have told you that p and q are co-prime integers. That means p and q do not have any common factor other than 1. Please remember this thing. Alright, they do not have any common factor other than 1. Now let's start with this calculation. So now I have root 2 is equal to p by q. Let's do square on both sides. Let's do square on both the sides. So here I have 2 and here I have p square by q square. Shift q square over there and 2 over here. So you will be getting q square is equal to p square by 2. Q square is equal to p square by 2. A bit understand this thing. I have told you p and q are integers. Try to understand. See, I am making this, not telling you to just rectify this. I am trying to explain everything. I am telling you here p and q are co-prime integers. Okay? So q is an integer. I can say, sir, in LHS, I know if q is an integer, then q square also must be an integer. Square of an integer is what? Square only. 2 square is 4, minus 2 square is also 4. Answer is always integer. So right, or I can say LHS side is an integer. Left hand side is an integer. And if left hand side is an integer, I can say LHS is equal to RHS given over here. Q square is equal to p square by 2. That means I can say this p square by 2 is also integer. Try to understand the logic. P square by 2 is also an integer. What I have told, sir, I know p and q are integers. So if q is an integer, q square is also an integer. So LHS is an integer. If left hand side of this equation is an integer, RHS of this equation is also an integer. And if p square by 2 is an integer, if p square by 2 is an integer, it only means that p square is divisible by 2. Obviously, देखो, if I divide 4 with 2, 4 by 2, my answer is 2. Answer is integer, so I can say 4 is divisible by 2. But if I divide 5 with 2, 5 by 2, my answer is 2.5, which is a decimal number. So it is not an integer, so I will say 5 is not divisible by 2. Alright, so if p square by 2 is an integer, if p square by 2 is an integer, I can say, sir, p square is divisible by 2. That means p square is divisible by 2, and I know from the previous theorem, if any number is divisible by a prime number, then square root of that number is also divisible. So if p square is divisible by 2, I can say p is also divisible by 2, because 2 is a prime number. Because 2 is a prime number. Okay? So I got to know, beta, p is divisible by 2. Now, if you remember, when I was telling you Euclid's division lemma, when I taught you Euclid's division lemma, I told you that all the even numbers can be represented in the form of p is as 2 into q, 2m. If a number is divisible by 2, we can write that in the form of 2m. If it is divisible by 3, we can write it in the form of 3m. 4 divisible by 4, we can write it as 4m. So if p is divisible by 2, I can write this p as 2m, divisible by 2. So it is a p is a multiple of 2, 2 into m, remainder 0. 2m plus r is 0, remainder 0. Since p is divisible by 2, I can write p as 2m. Okay, simple hai beta. Understand the logic? Root 2 is equal to p by q. I have taken p and q as co-prime integers. Then I have done square on both the sides, so I got 2 is equal to p square by q square. Once I have got this, I can say q square is equal to p square by 2, shifted the position. Now I know, sir, q is an integer, so q square is also an integer. That means LHS side of this equation is an integer. If LHS is an integer, RHS is also an integer. RHS, we have p square by 2. If p square by 2 is an integer, it clearly means p square is divisible by 2. And if p square is divisible by 2, p is also divisible by 2. And since p is divisible by 2, we can say remainder is 0. So by Euclid's division lemma, we can write as p is equal to 2m. Everything, I'm not telling you to rectify everything, I'm just making you explain each and every problem. Your teachers will directly from here, they will say q square is p square by 2. Next step, right, p square is divisible by 2, p is also divisible by 2. But I am telling you in detail what and all has happened over here. Now same thing, let's move ahead. So I am left here, beta, with q square is equal to p square by 2. P square by 2, where I know p is equal to 2m. P is equal to 2m. So I have p square by 2. Now replace p equal to 2m. Replace p with 2m, because we know na p is equal to 2m, divisible, p is divisible by 2. So I will get q square is 2m into 2m by 2. Now see, 1 2 to 1 2 got cancelled. You got q square is equal to 2m square. Q square is equal to 2m square, and if I shift this 2 over there, I will get m square is equal to q square by 2. I will get m square, or let me write it over here. By I am in the next page, I have got q square is equal to 2m square. So I can say m square is equal to q square by 2. Now again, beta, same logic. By here, p is equal to 2m. We know m is some whole number. ठीक है, so whole number means an integer only. ठीक है, so this side m square, m is an integer, then m square will also be an integer. If m square, this you don't need to write it in the your notebook, okay, or in your solution. No need to write all this. I'm just doing this to make you explain. Directly what you will do, you got to know m is an integer, m square is also an integer. If m square, which is LHS, is an integer, RHS also must be an integer. So RHS q square by 2 is an integer, and if q square by 2 is an integer, that means q square is divisible by 2. So directly I can say q square is divisible by 2. And if q square is divisible by 2, a prime number, q is also divisible by 2. So I can write q as 2n. I can write q as 2n. Ab beta, please focus very carefully here. Please focus very carefully. ध्यान से बेटा, listen very carefully now. यार say this is your equation 1 and let's say this is your equation 2. Equation 1 is telling you that p is divisible by 2. Equation 2 is telling you q is divisible by 2. So I can say from equation 1 and 2, p and q have 2 as a common factor. By both are divisible by 2. 2 is able to divide both p as well as q. So they have a 2 as a common factor. But in our assumption, we have told that p and q are co-prime integers. Assumption we have taken that by they are not divisible. By every fraction, you can reduce it in a form where the numerator and denominator cannot be cancelled any further. Suppose if I give you 50 by 100, you can say 50 ones are 52 are 1 by 2. You can reduce. Now 1 by 2 cannot be simplified further. If I give you 3 by 7, you cannot simplify that further. Same way, I thought root 2 is some fractional form where it cannot be simplified further. Yes or no? So p by q, I have told that they are co-prime integers. But from the equation 1 and equation 2, I am getting that they have 2 as a common factor. So it means what? But we have assumed p and q as co-prime integers. That means it contradicts our assumption. By it is going against our assumption, contradicts. It is making my assumptions. It is contradicting my assumption. So if it is contradicting our assumption, now see, I know beta, my calculations which I am showing you over here, my calculations are definitely correct. Maths cannot lie. This is 100% sure that my calculations are correct. So where can be the chance of mistake? Obviously by assumption. So it means since it is contradicting our assumption, this result is contradicting our assumption. So I can say since it contradicts our assumption, so we can say our assumption is wrong. We can say our assumption is wrong. That means root 2 is not a rational number. Root 2 is not a rational number, but it is an irrational number. Opposite of rational is what? Irrational. So it is an irrational number. This is how you prove it. Ab dekhna beta, let me tell you very clearly the proof of root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7. When these kind of questions will come, you have to solve in this manner, method of contradiction, and these questions are comparatively lengthy. These questions are comparatively lengthy where they give you a single irrational number, root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7. But when they give you combination, like prove that 5 plus root 2 is an irrational number, those questions are comparatively easy. I will solve those questions also, but this is what your proof of root 2 as an irrational number. Please, if you need, this is a bit lengthy problem, I know, and there is lots and lots of theoretical portion. So please put the video back whenever you want to revise it. Take the video, start the video again and see the whole process and try to understand this. Alright, so we got to know root 2 is an irrational number. Method of contradiction we have used here. Okay beta, then comes the next topic of decimal expansion of rational numbers. Decimal expansion of rational numbers. So I have clearly told you that rational number has two types of decimal expansion. One is terminating and the other is non-terminating and recurring. Non-terminating and recurring. This is for example 0.5, 6.25, 1.732, like that. Non-terminating and recurring means suppose 3.010101, now it is repeating itself, or 5.22222, or 5.2344444. So like this, something is repeating itself again and again and again and again. All right. A bit of how do I know? Suppose if I give you any rational number, let's say 13/7. Now how will I get to know the decimal expansion of this number is terminating or non-terminating? All right. How will we know it? Understand one more thing very clearly. Non-terminating and non-recurring is not an option because that is only for irrational number, and if I can write it in p by q form, it is a rational number. Alright, so I'll tell you the answer for this will be non-terminating and recurring. Now it is not magic, you can also understand there is a simple logic. What is that logic beta? Simple thing, whenever you have got a rational number in the form of p by q, whenever you have got a rational number in the form of p by q, beta, step 1, make sure that the fraction is in its simplest form. Simplest form. If not, then simplify it. If not, then simplify it. ठीक है, simplify करो. Always remember beta, this is the mistake many students make. P by Q, whatever we are having, must be in the simplest form. Here see 13/7, I cannot simplify it further. It is, they both are co-prime. So this is the first thing, make sure you do that. After that, prime factorize denominator. Prime factorize Q. Prime factorize Q. Now there are two possibilities for this prime factorization. If prime factorization of Q is in the form of 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n, where m and n are whole numbers. ठीक है, देखो here it is written 2 raised to the power n. अच्छा, power same thing, हाँ, दो n, m n anything. 2 raised to the power n. If it is in this form, 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n, and I have told you m and n are whole numbers, मतलब 0 is also allowed. 0 is also allowed. That means only 2 is also allowed. So if the prime factorization of q is suppose like this, 2 raised to the power 5, or if it is like 5 cube, or if it is like 2 raised to the power 4 into 5 cube, or if it is like 2 square into 5 raised to the power 4, anything, either only 2 or only 5 or both 2 and 5 are present. If this is the case of q, when p and q are in the simplified form, we will say the decimal expansion will be terminating. We will say decimal expansion will be terminating. We will say the decimal expansion will be terminating. And if q is not in the form of, same method, if q is not in the form of 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n, then the decimal expansion will be non-terminating and recurring or repeating. That is why see, I saw 13/7, 7, 2, and it is not in the form of 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n. It is what? 7 raised to the power 1. So I will say it is non-terminating. ठीक है? For example, if I give you 39/60, if I give you 39/60 and if I ask you whether it is terminating or non-terminating, so if you will look it over here, say 39, prime factorization of 60 beta, if you will do prime factorization of 60, you will get 2 square into 3 raised to the power 1 into 5 raised to the power 1. Alright, अब देखो बेटा, you will say देखो sir 2 and 5 are present, but other than 2 and 5, 3 is also present. Simple सी बात है बेटा, only 2 and 5 are allowed. Other than 2 and 5, any other number is present. Even 2 and 5 are also present there. Any other than 2 and 5 in denominator, any other rational number is present. In that case, simple, non-terminating and recurring. So you will say, sir, it is non-terminating and recurring. But that time only I will tell you wrong. I will tell you wrong. I'll tell you wrong because of simple one reason. It is not simplified yet. It can be simplified further. So if you will say na non-terminating and recurring, a big wrong I will give. First simplify it. So 39 by 60, I can divide both the numerator and denominator by 3. 13 3s are upon 13 20, 3 20 times. Okay? 13 by 20 now, yes, now it is in the simplest form. Now they cannot be simplified further. Now look at the value of q. So 13 upon prime factorization of q is 2 square into 5 raised to the power 1, and you can clearly see 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n. That is why it is a terminating decimal. ठीक है बेटा, simple thing. If it is in the form of 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n, मतलब 2 alone or 5 alone or both together. If it is the case, terminating. Other than that, any other prime number if you see along with 2 or without them or with them, non-terminating. As simple as that. But remember, make sure the fraction is in the simplest form. Most important thing. Please don't forget this. Alright guys, so now let's solve some questions. But before that, let me tell you about Vedantu's Pro subscription. As all of you know beta, right now we are giving you a Vedantu's improvement promise. That means we are clearly telling you, simple logic beta, simple promise to you, that you join Vedantu's course. If you do not see improvement, 100% feedback. Your whole fee will be returned to you. All your fee we will return to you. I will tell you more about Vedantu's improvement promise in detail at the end of this video. Alright, so let's move ahead now. Now, what are the features of Vedantu Pro subscription that you are getting? By first thing, unlimited classes. You can attend as many classes as you want, and all the classes are going to be filled with fun and high level quizzes. Second thing, students from all over the world, so you'll get to interact with them, you'll know them, you'll be knowing about their culture, you'll get to know that where do you stand compared to them, how much work hard you need to do more and all that. Then interactive replay, that means even while watching the recording of a class, you can you'll not feel boredom because you can attend the quizzes, you can see your name in the leaderboard as well. Notes written in the handwriting of master teachers will be available to you for every class. Alright, also during the class you will have a dedicated teacher to take care of your doubts, because we don't want any students' doubts go unresolved. Also, there will be quality tests and assignments for you, so that like you can always you don't have to go anywhere else, and everything you'll be getting at one place. Also, there are unlimited micro courses, that is topic specific course, and revision courses for board examinations and competitive examinations, so that you don't have to worry anything. You can just join them and finish your topic or finish your revision along with us. Alright, so remember, less price, more classes. Alright, so just visit the link which is mentioned in the description box of this video as well as in the pinned comment. Coupon code is GPE Pro for all of you. Alright guys, so for example, let's say you are going to this video. Alright, now in the description box of this video or in the pinned comment, you can see subscribe to Vedantu Pro now. This link is given, or in the description box here, subscribe to Vedantu Pro now. Alright, click on this link, you can see you have reached over here. GPE Pro code is already applied. Now you can change your grade also or board also if you want to. You can click here on edit. You have three courses: Pro Lite, Pro Classic, Pro Plus. Pro Lite has all the features which I have told you till now: live classes, test series and analysis, assignment and notes, and doubt solving during the classes. In Pro Classic, you have one extra feature of doubt solving app on mobile. So if you are studying after the class and if you get any doubts beta, you can put your doubt in the doubt solving app and you will get the solution for it. That is the extra feature with Pro Classic. And in Pro Plus, one more extra feature. So Pro Plus comes with the feature of Pro Classic plus one extra feature of personal mentor. So personal mentor you can think of as your teacher who will take care of your doubts, test questions. You can they'll practice with you, they'll explain all the doubts, academic, non-academic, guide, motivator, supporter, any role you require, and they will be there. They will be your guide throughout this journey of your grade 10th. Alright, so these are the prices beta. Now if you are one of the student who has not gone for online education till now, and if you are suppose still skeptical about it, you can try it for 1 month. The trying part is also available for 1 month. You can try it for 1 month at Pro Lite also, Pro Classic also, and Pro Plus also by clicking on try for 1 month. Once you are satisfied, you can take the whole year's course, either Pro Lite, Pro Classic, Pro Plus. And remember these prices, if you think that you are not able to pay altogether, EMI option is also available. Alright, EMI option is also available there. Alright guys, so these are the details about the courses. You can join it, you can see it further. Alright, now let's move ahead, let's solve some questions. First question, without actually performing the long division, without doing the division, state whether the rational number will have a terminating decimal or non-terminating repeating decimal. So see, first one is I have 13 upon 125, 3125. So 13 upon 3125. Now it is already simplified form. So I can say, since it is already simplified, it will be 13 upon 3125 prime factorization. If you will do, it will be 5 raised to the power 5. Alright, so I can say Hasan, it is in the form power of 2 is 0 because it is not present, and power of 5 is 5. So it will be terminating decimal. Terminating. Next question, 17 by 8. 17 by 8, again simplified form. 17 by 8 is 2 cube. So yes sir, it is 17 by 2 cube into 5 raised to the power 0, since 5 is not present. So again it will be terminating. And the last one, 129 divided by 2 square into 5 raised to the power 7 into 7 raised to the power 5. Now 129 is a prime factorization of 129. If you will do, it will be 3 4s or 3 3s are. So 3 into 43. Neither 3 is present, 43 is present. That means it is in the simplest form. Beta dekho, clearly you can see since 7 is present over there, other than 2 and 5 nothing is allowed. So for this we can say it will be non-terminating and recurring. Okay beta, simple question. Alright, next question, find the simplest form. Alright, so I'll do one thing beta, I'll give you this question as your homework. Do let me know what will be your answer for this homework question. This is your homework question. Find the simplest form of this. Alright, this will be your homework question. 2 root 45 plus 3 root 20 by 2 root 5. So try to simplify root 45, root 20 and then solve it. Alright, okay, this is your homework question. Next question, prove that 7 root 5 is an irrational number. As you remember, I was telling you beta कि भाई root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7. If I directly ask you those questions, कि prove that root 2 is irrational or root 3 is irrational, root 5 is irrational, then you have to follow that method, which is a bit lengthy. Alright, when you have a combination, here guys we have a combination. The combination of 7 into root 5 we have. Multiplication of a rational number with an irrational number we are checking. Alright, so they are asking us that prove that 7 into root 5 is an irrational. So whenever this combination is given, combination of a rational with irrational, or two irrational but joined with some operation, or a rational and irrational number joined with some operation, this kind of combination, alright, whenever this kind of combination is given, remember here if combination is given, irrational part, this root 5 we already know, root 5 is irrational number. We already know this. That means we don't have to prove root 5 as an irrational number. We already know already know that root 5 is an irrational number. The question is asking you 7 into root 5 is an irrational number or not. Try to understand. So these combination problems are comparatively small compared to those where you have to prove root 2, root 3 as irrational number. So this is very easy. I already know root 5. Please remember this, because these combination problems comes only for 2 marks. But proving root 2 is an irrational or root 3 is irrational, they comes for generally 3 marks, 4 marks, like that. Alright, so whenever combination is given, you already know root 5 or root 2, whatever that part is already irrational, but they are asking combining them also, is it an irrational number or not? Okay, so I will say, let's say, again here also method of contradiction only. So we will say, let us assume 7 root 5 is a rational number. If it is a rational number, I can write 7 root 5 in the form of p by q. I can write 7 root 5 in the form of p by q. Shift 7 over there, so root 5 is equal to p by 7q. Beta, let's say 7 into q is some integer r. 7 into q by q is an integer. 7 is also an integer. So integer into integer will become some integer. I can say, sir, I have got root 5 is equal to p by r. अब बेटा देखो, we already know LHS, we already know root 5 is what? Irrational. And p by r, integer upon integer, so it is a rational number. So when I say root 5 is equal to p by r, we are saying an irrational number is equal to rational number, which is not correct. So this is not correct. Yes, I can say कि भाई irrational number, but we know an irrational number is never equal to a rational number. That means our assumption is wrong. So our assumption is wrong. My assumption was 7 root 5 is an irrational number. That means 7 root 5 is not rational. 7 root 5 is an irrational number. See, I told you these questions, the combination problems are very easy, comparatively easy hoti hai. See short also. Just have to separate rational part and irrational part, nothing else. You just have to separate rational part with irrational part. ठीक है बेटा? Alright, let's move to the next question. Prove that 5 plus 3 root 2 is irrational. Again, separate करो. ठीक है? Let us assume, same thing है बेटा. Let us assume 5 plus 3 root 2 is a rational number. ठीक है? So I can say 5 plus 3 root 2 is equal to, let's say, p by q. Shift 5 over there. 3 root 2 is equal to p by q minus 5. We already know root 2 is irrational, but with this combination also irrational or not. So take LCM over here. 3 root 2 is equal to p minus 5 into q by q. LCM लिया है बेटा, ठीक है? Don't be like कि अरे सर ये कैसे हो गया? Multiplied with q, LCM. I know some students will be like, oh sir, how you have done this? Sir, you are not able to understand. No problem. I got it. That is why I am explaining this to you. But try to understand. यार these are all small things. All right. So here I have taken LCM. Nothing else. I have taken LCM. So into Q. Here also into Q. All right. So P minus 5Q upon common denominator Q. Now shift 3 over there to root 2, or I will write it over here. So I will get root 2 is equal to P minus 5Q upon 3Q. अब देखो p is an integer, 5 is an integer, q is an integer. So let's say p minus 5q will be equal to some integer, say r, and 3q is equal to some integer, let us say s. So we got to know root 2 is equal to r by s. Root 2 is equal to r by s. This side irrational, this side rational. It cannot be correct. So I can say our assumption is wrong. So 5 plus 3 root 2 is not rational, so it will be an irrational number. Simple. So combination questions beta dekh lo, very easy. combination questions are very easy. All right. Acha, one more thing beta, if you are getting any doubts throughout this session, any doubts, or there is some question you have doubts in, please use the comment section to post your doubts. All right. ठीक है. So 5 plus 3 root 2 is an irrational number. Next one, classify the numbers as rational and irrational. तो बेटा देखो, first one if I will see, actually ना, the thing is, first one, चलो ये देखते हैं. First वाला जो है बेटा, यहाँ पे देखो many students have this mistake 5.636363. अब देखो I don't know whether this is a typing mistake or not, but if it is, if it comes like this to me in the problem, in the exam, I will definitely say it will be rational. Why? Because it is a terminating decimal. It is a terminating. Dot 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 नहीं है बेटा, है ना? It is not, there is no dot dot dot. It is terminating. Terminating I know. ठीक है. सेकेंड वाला देखो 2.0400400004. अगेन आई विल से इट इज अ रैशनल नंबर बिकॉज सिंस नो डॉट डॉट डॉट, तो ये तो टर्मिनेटिंग है. ठीक है. थर्ड वन √21 बेटा, आई नो एनीथिंग इनसाइड द स्क्वायर रूट इफ वी डू नॉट हैव अ परफेक्ट स्क्वायर, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, इररेशनल. एंड सपोज फोर्थ वन क्यूब रूट ऑफ 3, अगेन क्यूब रूट ऑल्सो 3 is not a perfect cube, so it will again be an irrational number. Now suppose if the second one is given like this 2.0400400004 and dash 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 is given, then I will say कि sir it is non-terminating, also there is no pattern as well, and non-recurring. In that case I will say it is irrational, but the way it is typed I will keep it rational only. Now I don't know here, see now in the solution they are putting dashes, but here it is dashes are not put. First one, suppose if I give 5.636363 and dash 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 is given, I can say sir it is non-terminating but it is recurring, and if it is non-terminating but recurring, it is rational. ठीक है, it will be rational. Simple. ठीक है. So this is all beta. If you remember, I have given you even homework question, बताया था. This is homework question, all right? So please let me know what will be your answer for the homework question in the description box, in the comment section. What will be your answer, and I'll write the names of those students who have done the homework correctly. All right, beta. So this is all in today's class. As you all remember, I have told you about Vedantus Pro subscription and all the 3 courses. And just remember, guys, that these are not the final prices only for your long-term batches, because you are getting unlimited micro courses also. So you are not getting to do your syllabus only once. You can complete your syllabus as many times as you want with the help of micro courses. Now, Vedanta Improvement Promise beta, a very simple promise. If you do not see, we are taking the full ownership of your improvement. If you think, if you do not improve in your marks, your whole fees we will return your whole fees. All right, so we are guaranteeing your improvement, and if you do not see any progress, your whole fee will be returned. Only thing is beta, these are the two conditions. By first thing, as you all know, for this return fee you should be with us throughout the year, so you must be a long-term student. Second thing, you should complete at least 75% of the classes and 75% of the test. But obviously, then only we can be sure. If you are not coming to the class only, how can we guarantee your improvement? All right, so you have to complete, you have to attend 75% of the classes, and you have to give 75% of the test as well. If even after that you are not getting any improvement, take the whole fee back from us, and whatever you have studied for the whole year, free of cost, no need to pay anything. That is the promise. That means we are guaranteeing you your improvement. All right, beta. So this is all from my side in today's class. Thank you so much for coming to the session, and yeah, please don't forget to like the video. I can see many students they don't like the video. So when you like the video, it gives us an encouragement that yes, you are liking our work, and we try to do this with more honesty, and we put more of our efforts, and this feels like a prize. All right, So please don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, yeah, those who still don't know about this channel, and subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to press the bell icon so that you'll get to know whenever a class will start. Alright, so thank you so much guys. I'll see you soon in the next class. Till then, bye bye, sayonara, khuda hafiz to all of you. Bye bye.